We're already at the end of the year. I think I say this every single year, but how does the year go by so fast? It's crazy. I wanted to share with you guys one of the exercises that I have been doing since 2020, 2021, to like help kind of review the year past and then also prep myself for the year ahead. It's really about like reflection and then manifestation. So there's 5 different parts to this exercise that I do typically the last 2 weeks of the year. I try to find a little bit of time for myself, an hour, 2 hours, sometimes half a day if I can figure out how to squeeze out half a day of time to just really go silent, be alone, go inward, and kind of reflect on everything that had happened the year prior. And so the 5 different sections, we're going to save all of these as a template for you. But the 5 different sections really are as follows. So the first part is like really reflecting on how did this previous year, the current year you're in, go for you? Like, how did you feel throughout the year? What are some of the things that were tough? What are some of the most beautiful wins that you had throughout this year? Like, how did it go? How did it feel? How did your body feel? How was your mind? What were the things that you were working on internally? What are some of the relationships? How was work? Just all of the different aspects of life. How did the year go for you? And then the next piece is really, how do you want next year to look? How do you want to feel? What do you want it to look like? How do you want your days to look? Like, really sit and almost visualize it as though it's already happening, as though like you're in it, as though you're walking through your days, and this is what you want it to look like next year. And then the next piece is really writing down 10 goals that you have for this next year. So like, what are some of the actions that you can take to bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be? So really spending some time to think through, okay, like, this is how this last year went for me. This is how I want this next year to look going forward. And what are some actions that I can take to bridge that gap to get to where I want to be? And then the next piece is always the fun piece for me. It's the 5-year manifestation. So I want you to close your eyes, or if you're on a walk, just like really, sink in and kind of visualize you and yourself and your life in 5 years from now. What does it look like? What does your house look like? Like, what are you wearing? Like, what are your relationships like? What types of friends do you have? What does your career look like? I want you to really like go deep inward and dream about what that life looks like in 5 years from now. I think it's something that's so fun for me to go back through all of the years prior and just see how close I am to actually achieving and manifesting all those things that I was dreaming about 5 years ago. It's like one of the funnest exercises for me. And then the last piece of all of this is just something that I do typically in June and July of every year of the next year, is doing a mid-year check-in. So like, how am I progressing towards my goals? What are the things that I said I wanted to achieve? What I wanted to embody this year? Am I any closer to getting to that? And if not, what are some adjustments and pivots I can make in order to get there? So these are just some of the fun exercises that I do at the end of every year. I've been doing it by myself. My husband does it. Do it with friends and family. It's just a fun exercise to kind of just see and reflect on where you've come, how far you've come, how much deep inner work you've done to get to achieve the dreams and goals that you have. And I do it for my business too. And it's a fun way to constantly see the growth that you've achieved, when you dig deep and do the work. So happy New Year.